Welcome, everyone, to Sunday Fuel on June 1st, 2025. Bitcoin is set to reach to record heights in the upcoming weeks. Are you prepared for it? All that and more on today's Sunday Fuel.
Oh, don't worship. No. Lift up the stream that parts the sea. I'm just a vessel in velvet shoes, guiding you through these market blues. Don't worship me. Praise where the river flows free. I only carry the flame. The prophet ain't the name. The prophet ain't the name above every name. Oh.
Yeah, baby. We're taking you to church today. Taking to church today. Don't worship me. Don't worship me. Man, Peter, I'm excited. I'm pretty excited.
I could tell.
Because
you shouldn't be, though.
Why shouldn't I be? Why shouldn't I be?
Because
let me just do this intro correctly, okay? I'm Tom Hartman, your sacred prophet, humble, with no hubris, here to show you the path to my Father who art in heaven. Alongside, as ever, Peter, the bad guru Hartman. Hey, Peter, how's it going? How's the week been?
It could have been better if Bitcoin hit 116 like you promised.
I didn't promise it would hit 116, okay? We'll talk about that in a second when we go over last week's trades, because that's what Sunday Fuel is. We go over the trades for the week past and the week ahead to see what kind of opportunity exists there. And I did not promise 116. I tweeted out a little bit the 116 in case people didn't watch the video in order to get what the real trade was on the other side. Because your boy, Tommy Boy, SP over here, came out with a 200% plus profit on the trade for this week. So I don't know what you're doing. But if you're using these indicators the way that I created them and the way I've been teaching you, and you're not
didn't you say 116
a fly by the seat of your pants trader.
You said 116 by May something, May 20.
How's your week been, Peter? How's your week? So your week could have been better. How could your week have been better?
Look, the whole family's sick, which turns
they
apparently, yeah, apparently a 3-year-old who's sick is as annoying as a newborn baby. I know you're supposed to love newborns, but anybody who has a newborn knows you're not in a love stage most of the time with a newborn. It's kind of a headache.
You're in the don't break the law stage.
You're in the, that's right. That's right. You're in the I understand. I'm not going to say it. No, I'm not going to say it. No, never mind.
Well, there's a shaken baby syndrome.
This is what I was about. I was trying to avoid saying.
No, because babies get shook.
Okay.
Right? Babies get shook.
No,
right?
no. Wait.
I might drop some knowledge bombs on you. Babies get shook.
I don't want to be
come up with a name and a whole campaign to teach people not to do this because they shake your baby. Did I feel like shaking my baby? Yes. All the time. Did I ever do it?
You underestimate my power.
All right.
No,
good.
for the record, no, I didn't.
Good.
But it's useful for that baby to think you will.
That's right.
Baby, you got to teach that baby who's boss early on.
The threat's got to be there. Yeah.
That was your problem. You with the love and the kindness and the hugs and the kisses. That doesn't work. That does not work.
How was your week? How's your week?
My week? I got to say it's been pretty magical. Pretty magical indeed. I'm loving it.
How many sound effects do you have?
You underestimate my power.
No, okay, so you don't have that many. If you got to replay them, you don't have that many.
I got to play them when they matter, okay? When they matter. Well, for the trades for the week past, let's just touch on that for the moment because it ties in directly to how I feel. You'll remember, if you're paying attention to the show and you're watching the stream and not only, chart monkey and by just looking at my tweets, which I meant specifically to misdirect sometimes, Peter, just for me to be able to tell who's like a real supporter. I said to place a trade both long and short. I said the 116 long is no guarantee that because that's a trend level. That's not
true.
One of our levels at the top. It's a trend level. Yeah. And I said, if you want it to be in, you can do 116 long, but then you can also do the short side because the short side, you have all these levels below us, all the way down to 80,000, that can be touched, that can be clipped, even with a wick. So I said, if I was going to place a bet at all, it'd be for both sides. And that way, as long as the move that you're expecting is more than 2x, then you've covered the bet to the other side and you have exposure to the other side. For me, I call that a FOMO bet. I put it on and I go, okay, one of these is likely to be a winner. It'll pay for the other side, and I'm in. If I chose the right side, the right direction, and I just took that trade, great. I would have made the full amount of money. But since I can't do that, and I know for sure I'll throw my computer out the GD window if I pick the wrong side at a fork in the road, I put my FOMO trade on and I go, this is my FOMO tax. I can go ahead and kiss my wife and love my child, not shake him at all, even though he deserves it. Even though sometimes it seems like he wants me. I just put the trade on both sides. So that's what I did. All right, that's what I did. I took the trades on both sides, and it paid off because then we had the move split both ways. My long got liquidated, and my short went up to almost 300% in profit, and it took my profit. Actually, I added a short again. I'm actually net short again because I'm expecting us to go down even lower in the short term, if that's going to happen at all. But actually, let's go ahead to the charts and let's take a look at the setup for last week, just to review what we are talking about. Head over to the 2-hour chart on the BTC USD chart here, and what we have is last week was over here, right? Last week's over here, and as you guys probably know, I've said this a couple of times before, or I'll say it again. What I often expect is that on the first day of the trade after the week, I expect a pullback. And then whatever way the chart went, I expect it then to go the other direction. All right, so oftentimes I've found, this is not a hard and set rule, but it's something I have seen, that the first day of the week a move occurs, and then if you fade that move, that the trend is actually in the opposite direction, sometimes with another fake out in the interim. But if you get in at this level over here and not here, you don't get this liquidation, right? You don't get liquidated over here if you entered over here, right? Or if you do, you just enter again. Sometimes I do that. And I was able to get this trade down to this level over here.
Nice.
All right. I essentially held this trade all the way through because as soon as I got into this trade over here, we had a red zone appear. Okay. Now we did see a red zone here last week. We saw this red zone. And then this new one that showed up. So we had red and then yellow. And if this was going to continue the bullish move north, I would have expected the price to come up here and form a new green. A new green here. But that didn't happen. What we got was another red as a lower high from over here. What does that mean? That is a bearish trend, which is why I was very comfortable holding my short all the way here, even though we bounced once over here. All right. Now, if we take a look at waves to see, well, let's just take a look at the levels that we actually went to. So over here, after the first day, we had this as a daily unmitigated level. Where did the price go to? Exactly there. Then it bounced from over here, up over here. Where did it bounce to? To our weekly wave. Right? So this weekly wave confirmed resistance, and the price was moving up towards this daily level. Does that make sense here, Peter? That the price is moving up over there?
Yeah. But
it was moving up into a red zone, into resistance for the waves. So it didn't get all the way. It just touched over here, where the weekly VWAP and the wave, all that coincided. There's just too much resistance, and we moved down to the other side, giving us a big move down to the next daily level, which is over here. And we bounced around to the side, and we moved down towards this trend, which coincided with this monthly VWAP level. So there's some support over here, but you'll notice that we're bouncing up to this wave here, this monthly wave, down and up again. We're respecting this downtrend. So to me, we're still in a bearish phase. All right. But for the trades for the week past, this to me was confirmation to hold, and this added to it. So if I wasn't actually in over here, I might have gotten in over here once this ended up coming down over here, because it was confirming this whole bearishness because of this red 1, red 2, and all happening beneath the trend. You see how it becomes clearer here when you understand the indicators, you understand the setup, you're not confused by the price and wondering, hey, it might just blast off to the other side.
Right. Right. A lot of
Okay,
people sitting around waiting for that. Like, maybe I'll just get lucky and I'll just start shooting up. But better to understand the charts, have the indicators to help you to see what's going on so that you can make rational decisions instead of just sitting around waiting for hopium.
That's right. So since this was red over here and this started off red over here, even when the price bounced off over here, I knew we were in a type of situation. I knew that was like a you shall not pass type of situation there. Like I got that. And we moved further down. I got the sounds, Peter. I got the
You're
sounds.
so stupid. Wait, so while you're supposed to be working on getting this indicator set out, you're collecting sound effects.
Peter, I don't like hearing that. All right? I don't like hearing that. We're going to Rochambeau. I kick you as hard as I can, and that's and then you kick me as hard as you can, and that's whoever follows on first loses. I'll go first. So the last week's trade's pretty clear. We have not broken that yet. This has moved into a yellow zone. We're in a yellow zone right now over here, but we need to see green and a steady move up in order to see this as anything other than a bounced. Even if the price were to get to, I mean, essentially the price would have to cross over this level, right? This is an unmitigated daily level at 107. We need to get above here and then hold above here in order to even gain the momentum up. We know this setup, right? For the week ahead, what we're looking for what we're anticipating, the likelihood is that we're not getting above there. There's not enough juice, all right? Because we have so many levels calling us down here, daily level over here, weekly, daily. We have so many levels that are calling us, and only right now 2 levels above us. Does it mean that we can jump up? No. But what do we look at next? When we have these levels like this and we're trying to decide what is the bias for the chart, what do we look for, Peter?
Confirmation.
Yes, but we have here we're looking at price, and then we look at the levels. But if that doesn't tell us, what other thing can we look at to see what way the wind is blowing?
Liquidity.
Liquidity, exactly. So if we head over to the daily chart, we can see here that we are in this consolidation zone for liquidity, this projected liquidity off 78 days, which is the correct number of days to offset liquidity for. People get it wrong.
Why?
I'm not one of those people.
Why do they get it wrong?
Because some people guess, and other people like me, we're made of different stuff. I'm invincible.
Do you have a button for cringe? Is that your cringe button you push for that? Okay, you found the cringe button.
So we had this liquidity consolidation zone where we're headed sideways until around June 16th. What does that mean? It means that the tailwinds for price, it gets pulled back. So even if we're net bullish, there's an air pocket that we hit. Remember I said this air pocket, we can get a pullback. So far we have a pullback of, 7%. We can easily get much lower than that. We can easily come down to 92,000 and still be bullish, like hella bullish. Heck, we can get down to 80,000 and still be bullish, but 92,000, totally simple for us to get down there. Trivial for us to bounce down there in order to bounce back up. And so what we're expecting here, we had a little bit of a bounce here in liquidity around June 4th, June 5th. which we're going to be getting right now. And then my assumption, the trade for me is biased towards the downside. I'd basically be looking to short any significant bounce over here with an expectation of getting around to 92,000. That's what I would expect for the week ahead, all the way up to June 13th or so. So give ourselves, this week, well, maybe not the week ahead, over the next 2 weeks. So maybe this week a bounce up, and then at the end of this week, a short. We'll revisit this at next week's Sunday Fuel. But don't be surprised if this week a news happens, a shock happens, and the price comes down. Remember, when we are in a period of liquidity weakness, or it's more of an ebb, I don't even want to call it a weakness, it's just that we're not getting the headwinds, the tailwinds. We're in a period when something negative happens, it moves the market more than it would otherwise. So that's what we're seeing for the week ahead. Now,
is that the same thing for positive? If you're in a
Exactly.
bullish trend, something positive would make it go up?
It'd be hard for that to be sustainable. It's more about the downside shock.
Right.
Because since we're in the bullish trend, it's the strength of the bullishness that's ebbing and flowing, not of not liquidity, but the undifferentiated liquidity, undifferentiated price movements. Bullish and bearish are not equal, right? All charts tend to go up and to the right, unless there's some reason they should be headed towards zero. But the up and to the right, you got to imagine the steady up and to the right, direction. That's really the norm. Like that's actually sideways, because you're actually rolling that way, and anything that moves against that, you're moving always against resistance.
Gotcha.
Make sense?
Yeah.
It's like standing under a waterfall. The water's always pushing down. It doesn't sometimes move up unless something dramatic is happening in the other direction. Not the best metaphor, but we'll figure it out. All right. So what I'm really looking forward to, the reason I was calling this the Bitcoin and the Holy Global Empire. By the way, I will be starting tomorrow, doing a daily show, Monday to Thursday, called Candlestick Vigil, where it's basically my Bible study. It's where I look over the charts and go over the videos and take a look at information and code some scripts. You guys get to hang out with me as I live stream and do that. It'll be fun. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a monologue at the beginning, a nice half-an-hour monologue. Then we'll open it up to vibe coding or working and Q&A. You got any questions? You want to come in? You want to talk? It'll be fun. I will be setting up a thing where you can even talk live on the air, but you have to prove to me that you're not a weirdo or a troll or anything like that, because those things can happen. Unless you're a young and attractive person, and what you want to do is more of like an Omegle style, like you're trying to get notoriety by being salacious online. That'd be fine by me.
Disavow. All right,
Peter.
The copyright
vigil every night.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like candlestick vigil every day, Thursday to Monday to Thursday, from 10:30 p.m. to midnight. Be there or be square. That being said, I call this the Bitcoin and the Holy Global Empire because we had the Bitcoin 2025 conference that happened this week in Vegas, which is pretty fun, pretty interesting. I was thinking about going, decided not to. I'm not in the Bitcoin cult. Not all Bitcoiners are in a cult, but I'm not in the Bitcoin cult. And I think even Michael Saylor had a slide there where he had like a church on his slide saying that all corporations should have Bitcoin in their thing. I don't know. I didn't watch the talk. A little bit strange, a little weird. But stuff like Lynn Alden's video, where our talk about the inevitability of Bitcoin is something to stop this train. That was fantastic. If you want to deep dive on that, head over to the Traders Post channel on YouTube. That's Traders Post on YouTube, and it did a video, a bit of a Peter last Friday, where we go into Lynn Alden's talk there. Very fascinating. You want to go take a look at the full video if you want, but if you only want my Cliff Notes version, please go ahead and take a look at that. But what was nice is that I'm actually becoming more of a believer in the inevitability of Bitcoin, not because I think Bitcoin is great for the holy global empire. I think it's a barometer for the final part of the turning. So if you don't know about the turnings, if you don't know about the fourth turning, it's the idea that all history moves in these waves of these cycles, because that are based on the lifetime of human individual. So you can imagine that your lifetime might be split up, which, you know, your lifetime, which is a seculum, what the Romans called a seculum, is split up into 4 sections, right? 20 year, 20 year, 20 year, 20 year. And the things you do in the first section is different than you'll do in the second, third, and fourth. Or think of it as grade school, high school, college, and work. And so you have this depending on where you are in that cycle, you'll make different decisions. And those decisions that people do as a group are predictable. They're predictable because people are predictable in a group. They're not predictable individually. And then what the entire generation will do, what happens is that at the end of that cycle, when the last old person dies from that cohort, the knowledge of that last 80 years is gone, which makes it far more likely that the next batch will repeat the mistakes that existed 80 plus years ago, because there's no one alive right now who are in control who remembers. So you have these cyclicalities. And empires go through this type of cyclicality. You can see these phases of an empire. And we are in a time of what I call the holy global empire, the Western empire, which I gave myself holy to. I don't know if I made this clear. I'm pro empire. Why? Because they have all the guns and all the weapons, all the power and the money. If someone else had the weapons and guns, power and money, I'd follow them.
You're very principled.
I go where the bullishness is. I want to be in District 1. I don't want to be in District 13. I don't want to be in District 12. I will not volunteer as tribute. I want to be in the audience, hoping that Katniss Everdeen and Peter Malone get together. I want to vote on the people on American Idol.
You should get that sound
I
effect.
want to enjoy the Squid Games. Okay? I don't want to be in it. I don't want to need to be in it. I don't want to be in it.
You should get the sound effect for when someone dies in Hunger Games. What is it, like a gunshot?
Yeah, I should do that. Yeah, I should do that. That's true. I like that, Peter.
Since you base your whole life and philosophy around Hunger Games, you reference it at least 3 times a week with me. So you might want to get those sound effects.
That's true. I should have sound effects. It just seems a little bit more depressing than, you know. Plus, we're feeding AI. We live by the algorithm and we feed AI. I mean, that's our jobs, right? We thought we would be batteries, matrix style inside of a machine. No, it turns out what we are is feeding the AIs in order to make them super intelligent, so they can aggregate all our knowledge and all our perceptions in order to make decisions that are multidimensional or far deeper than us. I am for it. Give it to me. Give it to me. Look, we went off the rails after they made the printing press and taught people how to read. Okay, since then, this is always going to be the end game. Propaganda, changing people's minds, using their minds, undoing it, and Siler style, pouring it into a machine and becoming stronger and better. This is always going to happen. All right, I'm more of a Rick and Morty sort of situation. I'm not idealistic. I know this is what the world is like. There's another universe with another Tom who has a better life or a different thing, and they're enjoying themselves. There's a darkest timeline. This is my timeline. My timeline is AI takes over, and the holy global empire needs to be worshipped and upheld.
Well,
and Bitcoin helps with that. Bitcoin helps with that because it's a measure of the preparedness of the people who own the asset. Let me say that again. If you hold Bitcoin, you are in some way, shape, or form a prepper. What are you preparing for? The collapse of the financial system. As the financial system collapses, you profit. Let's not pretend that that's not what you're doing. When Bitcoin's number go up, it's because things are bad. That's what you want. You want Jerome P to come out here and start like just printing money like crazy because of a massive problem within the financial system that causes inflation to go crazy and asset price inflation to go up and devaluation of the currency, that Bitcoin go up. Because when Bitcoin go up, you can buy more islands, you can buy more jets, you can buy more lifestyle tokens, as Raul Pal wants to say from real.
I'm 100% there with you. I've been spending basically every waking hour looking for wet markets, gobbling down all the penguins I can find. Like, I am so willing for patient zero, because the last time this happened, Bitcoin to the moon. I'm taking one for the team. And by taking one for the team, I mean contributing to mass death. I'm just channeling my inner Tom there, my inner sacred prophet.
Well, the reason I talking this way is that traders, we understand that we take advantage of volatility. Right? Now, in your personal, social, cultural, political life, you do what you need to do in order to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and sleep at night. I'm not against that. But when it comes to making money and providing for yourself and your family in order to survive, because you do not benefit anyone by being hungry and homeless and dead on the side of the road. You want to be in a position of power, in a position of authority. You want to be a high value trader so that you can actually influence what happens inside the holy global empire. And for that, you need things to go badly, so that you could make the money off the volatility and place yourself where you need to be. Is that Machiavellian? Maybe.
Then something just snapped. Something inside of me. I didn't care anymore.
But once you let go of the Disney movies and Captain Americas and you realize this is the way in order to move forward, in order to position yourself in a way that it can actually change the world for the better long term, you understand that. And people get this on a lower level, because when I had no money or a very little bit of money, I would give a homeless person $20, half of what I had, because I felt bad for them, right? And I was like, I'll give you $20. I have $40, I'll give you 20. We both have it. I have my home, I live a little better than you, fine. Once I got more money,
oh dear God.
When I got more money, I would give one homeless person $100 sometimes. When I got more money than that, I rolled up my window, blasted my music, didn't make any eye contact, and drove to get gold jewelry for my wife. Where did I put my money? When someone came to the door and made a compelling case, then I maybe gave them my money. Then when I got more money than that, I waited till the member of parliament showed up at my door asking who I should be voting for. As you move up, you have different concerns, because you realize giving the $20 to the homeless person on the street didn't stop him from being homeless, didn't help at all. But making larger decisions that were more longer term oriented could ostensibly change your community for the better. So you want to be part of the whole global empire. You need to be part of the holy global empire and sacrifice all your short-term morality and ethics and all that sort of thing, and get on board with making profit over the large volatility events that happen, because you can't stop the bad thing from happening, but you can turn it to something good for yourself.
You're
gotta
so
know
terrible.
What world you live in. You gotta know what world you live in.
And he's not even joking about
You
this,
gotta know.
folks. He believes this. He talks to me about it all the time. I don't. I'm not for the holy global empire in the way Tom is.
If there's gonna be fascism, who do you want to administer it? Someone else or you? If there's gonna be fascism anyway.
No fascism. You're setting up a false setting here. False choice.
Don't Boris, take it to the chorus. Wanna rock with Jenny? Keep your head down, nails done like Jenny.
we're going to have fascism. Okay, it's happening right now. Get yourself in a position of power, and then you can turn off the fascism spigot.
I think once you get fascism and
Right.
you're in power, you don't want to turn anything off. That's the problem.
Look, that's future Tom's problem. Okay, that's if that's the case, then it's happening anyway. All right, that's happening anyway. Bitcoin 2025 is what I was saying. It's happening.
Yes.
And what we're seeing here, if we just head over to the charts here 1 second, we're seeing that the fuel for the next big up move with shorts, it's even juicier now than ever before. This whole triple top idea and people getting into short from these higher levels, I didn't expect it to be this incredible. We're now back to, we're above what we were before. We're at 12 billion shorts on the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map for Binance, OKX, and Bybit. We're 12 billion short versus 450 million long. Guys, we're almost there. We're going to get the next pullback. We're going to get the next pullback in here. And then when this guy happens over here, these shorts are going to get ripped. We're going to go to 150, 200 like that, buddy. It's coming this summer, coming to a Bitcoin chart near you. These shorts will be liquidated. Liquidations will continue until morale improves. Come on, guys. This is what we wanted. Right around this whole triple top area, people are not going to know what hits them. Now, will that coincide with a tragedy within the financial system? Yes. Yeah, these things are all working together. But if it makes you feel any better, this was already going to happen because what we're seeing is 70 days out. You know what I mean? As Neo had to learn, you're not here to make the decision. You're here to understand why you made the decision. Okay? And when this chart is set up right, when we get to June 16th, and the bad news happens, and you look up and you realize the don't look up, the asteroid is headed to Earth, and old Sacred Prophet was right. I want you to remember.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit.
Great, guys. It's gonna be great. Bitcoin to the moon. Bitcoin to the moon. It's going to be great, Peter. I'm looking forward to it.
You can't talk about
the bad thing that happens. It's not like Montreal falls into the sea or something, which I always worry about. That
you can't talk about wanting fascism and the holy global empire and do gestures
I don't want
like this.
Fascism. Excuse me. That's a Roman salute. Don't worry about it. It's just a normal. My heart goes out to you.
My heart goes out to you.
I don't want. Let me just make that clear, Peter. I don't want fascism.
It sounds like you want fascism.
I like fascism.
There's a difference.
No. Sorry. I like opportunity. If opportunity knocks on my door and it looks like fascism, you don't look at opportunity. You don't look at fascism in its mouth. Okay, you do what you need to do in order to move forward, to make the money that you need to make.
This is on the internet forever, right? Like your children
Peter,
will see this. Your children's children.
The reason it matters to me is that I'm feeding the AI. I need the AI to know what, and it's going to be part of the nervous system of the Holy Global Empire, that I'm on board day in, day out, Sunday to Thursday. It knows, God dang, this guy is on board. The robot going to come to my door and they were like, no, not him. Not him. And I'm going to open the flat on my floor, like Inglourious Bastards, and be like, hey, get him.
And Frank, she's right up there. And Frank's right up there.
No. Peter, this is erase that. Right? Just people who aren't prepared for what the Holy Global Empire needs. Holy Global Empire is fed on the blood of the ignorant and the unknowing.
He's okay, guys. He's like this all the time.
God.
all the time. This is not like some weird version of Tom. This is the version of Tom I've known my entire life. The one that you see professional on Traders Post and doing his thing out there. That's the fake Tom. The real Tom is anime, rock, fascism, holy global empire,
K-pop.
K-pop. This is the real guy. Finally, we're getting to see the real Tom. It's cool. We'll see if it works. Don't tell us if you like what's going on, write it in the comments down below. If you don't like what's going on, even better. He loves that. Write it down in the comments below.
All right, well, that's it for this week. The weekly trade that we're expecting to see 8 to 10 tonight should be around the 108 level, 107.8. Not sure. It'll be around there. We'll see. So fully expect the price to head up into 108 and then roll over lower. That would be my guess. As always, when we meet the VWAP levels from underneath, we short. When we meet them from on top, we go long. Regardless of whatever happens after that, you can make the most amount of money that way. Very simple rule to follow. And then wait for next week. We'll see what happens this week. This week, I wouldn't be surprised if we just spend our time moving up into this 107, 108 level. And then we roll over next weekend in order to get down lower to 92,000, at which point we then bounce, because then the shorts are really going to be they're really going to be locked in, and then we just rocket back up and we see, like, on the weekly chart, a nice big bottom wick. But I don't really see how we don't get to like 140 by like late July, early August latest, and it could rocket even higher than that. All right, guys, that's what's coming up for the week ahead. It's fun. Any questions, Peter, before we go?
Yes, I have a question. Bitcoin right now at the conference, Lynn Alden, I know you talked about it on Traders Post, but I wanted to kind of touch on it here. If I understood correctly, Lynn Alden was saying the sky is falling?
Oh, not only has it fallen, but it's been fallen, and there's no way to prevent it. Like, there is no way to prevent it because the mechanisms by which you would prevent it are already off the rails, right? So if you're going to talk about the central banks, what they would need to do is prevent credit creation, prevent the issuing of the creative money. But doing that, in their case, raising interest rates, ironically, increases the interest payments on the debt, which is another form of creating of the money, because the government can't default on its debt. The United States government, anyway, can't default on its debt. They need to pay the debt by issuing more debt, more money, more liquidity. So there's no way out of it, because they're not going to be like, okay, well, now we're defaulting.
Right.
America's over, because the whole world is like, well, no, the deal is that you have to supply dollars till your death. So keep supplying it. The alternative, so that's on the public side. On the alternative side is the private sector would have to somehow massively deleverage, which means all these billionaires and whatever would have to lose all their money, all their assets, whatever. I don't see that happening. Don't see that happen at all. But there's the people who do think that robotics and AI will come in with massive levels of productivity that could then revolutionize things. But when I look back on previous technologies like this and the newspaper clippings at the time and what people were saying, it takes 10, 15, 20 years, one turning, for these things to happen. So I don't see that happening anytime soon, regardless of how good these systems are. So yes, Lynn talks about that the sky is falling. It was already started falling, and the ability to prevent it from falling is done. So what comes after that is that assets like gold, scarce assets like gold and Bitcoin, go up massively in value.
So we had the .com, global financial crisis. I don't know if COVID counts in there. Are we about to hit another major downturn?
Oh God, yeah. Sorry. Yes, absolutely. But by about, it could be, next quarter, or it could be next year. So about in financial space, in macro space, is like Jesus is coming back soon. It's like
why why offend the evangelicals right now?
Well, because they believe in a silly sky alien or whatever. So
Oh
why
my
not
God. Oh my
bring
God.
them into
Oh
the
my
conversation?
God. Oh my God.
You underestimate my power.
So macro events always take longer to play out than you think. Why? Because the other people, the other players, the Sith and the Jedi know about all this. And so what they do is they try to mitigate it. It's like the chess game where they can't resign. They just try to do moves in order to make the game last longer and longer and longer. But eventually the checkmate's going to happen. It's a forced checkmate, if you will. We just don't know how he moves. So it will happen. You're going to see that by unemployment rates going to start to tick up, and it won't turn back down the other way. We'll see. We'll see. But that's usually the sign of the start. By then, it's too late. If the unemployment rate is coming up, all the things that then trickle through the economy in order to get a bunch of people losing their jobs is already done. And as you even see with the liquidity chart of 78 days offset, these things are like, it's a 1.5 to 2 year cycle. So once it happens, it'll be like at least 2 years, at least 2 years before you see the signs of getting out of it. So 2.5 years, and then it'll be another 5 years before you get up to like the levels that you expect. If I look at past patterns, and that's how you get this 5 to 10 year period of, where you get to buy assets at the low, and then take advantage of a high later on. But if we get the stagflation, where we're sideways, 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 we're just going to get down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and go flat basically for the next 5 to 10 years.
Is the bond market about to collapse?
It depends what you mean by collapse. The bond market is so useful that every participant has a incentive to keep it working, even at their own detriment, because it's either this bad thing or the worst bad thing. Like if the bond market disappears, all the operations that we're normally used to generate liquidity and commerce and all that, they go. You don't switch tomorrow, now you have something else. All the dollar's gone, I guess we'll use something else now. No, it's get your gun, get your gold, and get in your bunker, because it's going to be a while before things get under control. Like, what are you going to do? You know how many things that regular people have to deal with, plebs like the people watching the show have to deal with? They don't even understand that the bond market is a thing that's actually underpinning what they're doing. Whoo, boy. Imagine someone wakes up and they go to the bank and the bank's closed. The bank's gone.
Well, that's what I hear. I don't know who said it. That Bank of America, the ATMs are not going to be working soon.
Yeah. Like if that happens, that's terrible. That's like horrible. People aren't even prepared for that. Like, what do you do? They just, all your stuff is gone. All your assets are gone. Whatever. Like, they're not really going to let that happen. Not
so.
For rich people. Sorry. Middle class and poor people are going to lose everything. I'm not sure if I just made that clear. It's the holy global empire, and only those who are rich have any chance of surviving, if any. I'm not sure if I made that clear. That's what's happening. That's why you got to be pro holy global empire, because otherwise you're global financial crisis. You are a .com baby. You're not going anywhere. No one's going to care about your political views. No one.
You just froze there. You're gone. All right. I think the powers that be have found out Tom is spilling the beans, so they don't want him to be heard. Sacred Prophet. Sorry, buddy. You're frozen. I'm going to have to take your face away. Now, maybe he'll come back. Look, you like the show. It's entertaining, all right? Not only do you get wonderful, smart, insightful, true market updates and information, and knowledge about the charts and Bitcoin, you get entertainment. That's what you get here. And Tom is an entertaining guy. And the more you encourage him, the more entertaining he will be. So if you want to see him go off the rails, I highly recommend you comment, you participate, you come in and watch the show, because you're going to get more and more fun stuff. So he's going to be doing his show during the week, in addition to Sunday Fuel, which happens every Sunday, and Revelations, which happens periodically during the week when something happens in the market. Candlestick Vigil will be a new show Sunday to Thursday that will take place in the evening, late at night, when all the kids are asleep, 10:30 to 12 a.m. around that time, and you can ask your questions, you can participate, you can be involved. And if you want to get those indicators, look, they're free. The Sacred Profit indicator packs are free. You can get them. There's an affiliate or something you have to sign up for. Tom knows all the details, but they're free. So just contact him on. You can post on YouTube. The best place is to go over to X, and that way you'll be able to see Tom there, Sacred Profit on X. Ask him for the indicators. So I think you'll need your TradingView username or something like that. I don't know the whole process, and you can go ahead and get that there. Tom, are you back? Yes, you are. Welcome back, Tom. Froze again. Oh, Tom, I think you're frozen again. Sorry about that. Look, this has now become Bad Guru Nightly. I am Bad Guru. I'm sure Tom wants to come back in here for a quick goodbye. So go over to X, take a look at Sacred Profit. Not only can you contact him there, but that is where he posts the trades for the week. Now, there's a lot of trades that he talks about and things that he will do, but he'll only post things that he has more confidence about. So it's not that the trades that are posted on X are the only thing that you can go for. When you have the indicators, you can make your own decisions. You can be a discretionary trader. You can figure out what you want to do. But if you want to know what he is leaning to more strongly, that's what he tweets out. And if you have any questions about those tweet posts, of course, just DM him, respond to that, and you can get into a conversation there. I am biased. Okay, Tom Sacred Prophet is my brother. He's my twin brother. I've known him longer than I've been alive, longer than I've been on this planet, since before we came out of the womb. But I'm not bullshitting you when I tell you that it's a lot of pain and suffering that led him to where he is now. He understands the markets. He created these indicators to help himself and to help people like you to be able to see the markets clearly, because he truly believes that what's important in this world is that you be exposed to the markets. If you're not exposed to the markets, you're really in for a really rough time. And so we've been down in the dumps. We've been dirt poor. We've been homeless, essentially. And here we are doing well again and climbing back at the top. And it's thanks to his knowledge. I don't have this knowledge. I would have been a poor man on the floor, sleeping in a box if it wasn't for my brother Tom. He's excellent. Tom, just so you know, you're still frozen there, so I can't put you back on screen. And it's because of Tom that I was able to get out of the hole and to get on top. It's because of his understanding of the markets. There are no guarantees. Do your own research. This is not financial advice, but I highly, highly recommend that you get those squiggly lines on your charts, okay? Because I couldn't read these charts until I see these indicators. When I see the indicators, even a dummy like me understands what's going on. So don't live your life wishing, we're in a Bitcoin group, and sometimes I feel like people just go to bed just hoping that things change for Bitcoin, just hoping that the thing rockets to the moon. You don't have to hope, okay? With the indicators from Sacred Profit, you make money when it goes up, down, or sideways. In fact, you make even more money if it goes down or sideways. So you don't have to be the person out there wishing that Bitcoin goes to the moon. It doesn't matter. It goes up, that's great. But that's not where the profits are made. The profits are made in the volatility. And if you can understand what the charts are telling you, then you're going to be at an advantage. Don't you want an advantage? I think the cool kids call it alpha or edge. Don't you want that? It's free. So contact Sacred Profit. If you've thought about it and you haven't done it yet, just do it now. If you think, oh, I'm not so sure, I want to, do it anyway. All right. This is an opportunity for you. Don't be the person who thinks 6 months from now, a year from now, oh, I should have done that thing that Sacred Prophet was telling me. You don't have to believe what he believes about the Holy Global Empire. That's all for fun. It's true what he believes, but it's for fun. What matters is that you're exposed to the markets, that you understand the charts, and that you have the tools that make you a high value trader. So that's my spiel. I think Tom is having, I don't know, some glitch there. But I do appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for watching until the end here. Or maybe this is a clip that you're watching, and thank you for watching the clip. Remember to like and subscribe and head over to X to follow Sacred Prophet. You definitely want to do that. Let me find out if he's coming back. and maybe we can jam out to a few tunes on our way out. We do have some interviews that we did at Consensus 2025. They're going to be posted today, tomorrow. They're going up imminently. Actually, he did an interview with Charles Hoskinson about midnight, and that's coming up very soon. I actually already edited that, so that'll be going up here today. So, unfortunately, that's it for the show here. Tom, Sacred Prophet, is not able to come back, but that's totally fine. I don't have the buttons to make the fun songs, but you can put on your tunes and jam out to whatever you like. We'll be back here, of course, next week, Sunday, but we'll also be here for Revelation. And I think probably he'll be starting, if not this evening, then sometime this week, the weekly show. So participate with that. My name is Peter Hartman. I'm Bad Guru Nightly. Excuse me. And you've been watching